Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between and beyond, welcome to the 15th episode of Campton Zoo. So today we're building something that's been requested a couple of times already, which is a habitat for African savanna elephants. To be honest, probably one of the most iconic and popular animals in any zoo, so hopefully you're gonna like it. Get yourself a snack or something to drink and let's start building this huge enclosure. So obviously I hope anyone who's watching the series already know that, but this whole project is heavily inspired by European zoos, so in case anyone has any future recommendations, remember that the animal you're interested to see me build the habitat for needs to be a species that would actually be kept in a zoo in Europe. There aren't that many that I wouldn't be able to add here, but just what I want to say is that if you have any recommendations, I would love it if you would also tell me which zoo has it so I can see how they accommodated this specific animal. What I mean by that is exactly what was the case for our elephants that we're now building the enclosure for. Obviously they don't live in Europe and they don't experience such low temperatures found here, so the whole habitat has to be built in a way to make sure they stay warm during colder months. Usually it's done by creating huge, I'm talking massive buildings that the elephants stay inside for the winter. These animals need gigantic areas, so usually these buildings are bigger than the outdoor space they have for summer because they can access both at this point. A great example will be the structure in Zurich Zoo in Switzerland that was actually the inspiration for this build. Unfortunately, the original is way more complicated and it would take me ages to build something on that level, so I decided to simplify it just a bit. It still hopefully has similar essence. There are some curved slopes, etc., and there's glass on the roof so the sun can enter the indoor section. Basically it's like the what it looks online versus when it arrives meme. It's not bad, but it's certainly not as amazing as the original. But to be honest, I decided that I might have to limit the amount of details at this point because I'm a little bit worried about the whole save, because what you will be able to see in the cinematic shots are the camera path shots that have just been introduced with the newest DLC. So of course I wanted to use them and actually make something cool, but the problem is that there's so much stuff already that if the camera faces lots of assets, the game slows down so much that you can unfortunately see it in the cinematic shots. I love the feature, don't get me wrong. Of course it's something mostly for content creators, but well, I am one, so I won't lie, I will for sure be using it unless the game says no. Let me know in the comments what you think of the shots. Does it bother you that there's sometimes a weird performance issue? Maybe you prefer the still shots just as they used to be, or maybe you're completely fine with how it looks now and would like to see more of the nuance. This project, though, as I said before, is a simplified version of the original one, still ended up being quite time consuming. especially the roof, since everything is made out of individual pieces. I decided not to record some repetitive parts or irrelevant stuff like me putting the plants on the outdoor elevated parts or building the quote-unquote behind the scenes section where there's just cages for elephants just to add a bit of realism. They can access it, so I bet during winter they might like to hang out there, or if they're sick or pregnant they can get some privacy and relax. So the whole habitat can be accessed by the guests from 3 spots: the indoor balcony, the outdoor patio, or whatever you want to call it, and also from the ground level. In the beginning, I also wanted to add a pool viewing area where you can watch elephants bathe, but I would run out of space, so I just gave them 2 ponds, one inside and one outside. I think one of my weirdly favorite parts of this project was building the walls for the outdoor part of the habitat. Not sure why, maybe because it was so easy and fast compared to everything else here that I knew the worst part is already behind me. I also loved altering the paths, which are I think my most hated feature in this game. They're so annoying and difficult to work with. I knew I wouldn't be able to create them in the shape I had in mind, so I just used the wall pieces, munch and security barriers to alter them in a way that helped me achieve what I wanted. The whole outdoor patio is literally my favorite part of this whole build. So as I said earlier, you can access the habitat from 3 spots. We've already talked about 2 of them, so obviously there's one left to discuss. I wanted to just have this ground level viewing area that pretty much every zoo has. They always add a gap between people and animals for security, and we've already built something like that for our bear island. So I just copied it here and changed it so it fits this enclosure. Of course, elephants are way bigger than bears, so I had to build the bigger gap, which in Planet Zoo doesn't really matter, but well, we're going for the realistic look that will give you an obvious idea of what the inspiration was. I've been to many zoos and I've seen a lot of habitats online, and I haven't seen one that didn't have this gap if there was a path close to the edge of the habitat, so why not add it just for fun, you know? Also, I decided to cheat that part because I didn't want to struggle with paths again, which if you've ever tried to build a path that is so close to the wall, you know what I'm talking about. You either are left with some ground sticking out on the other side of the wall, or you have to elevate the path, which means you then have to connect it to the ground level path, which can be annoying too. So I just decided, well, we have a path there, maybe it's not that close to the wall, but it's there, and we also have 2 other spots where people can view these animals from, so I can't be really bothered. Hopefully you guys don't mind that. We're building the whole zoo while it's closed, so it doesn't really matter from the game point of view. We're not trying to have a well-managed zoo that works when it comes to just the gameplay itself. So I personally don't mind if some things don't work the way I would love them to work, as long as they look functional, you know. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Again, we're about to go to the cinematic shots. Let me know what you think of them. Is the performance issue that noticeable that it takes you from the immersion and doesn't let you enjoy watching them, and I should just do the still shots, or they're fine and you like them and would like to see them more? Let me know. Also, if you want to help the channel, leave a like and a comment, and if you've enjoyed the video and haven't yet, consider subscribing so you won't miss future uploads. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!